There is something seriously wrong with our public life in Canada when people gather, meet each other in the street, talk about these horrendous stories, and yet public officials and politicians will not. For example, Brian Lilley has been on this show a number of times. He has a story in the last few days about a young student in Renfrew, small town outside of Ottawa, in a Catholic school, fully paid for by the taxpayers, was kicked out of school because he said there are two sexes. There are other preferences, but he said there are two sexes. There was some talk about men breastfeeding and other silliness. He got kicked out of school. And when he tried to go back this year, the school authorities said, "You ready to recant?" He says, "No, there are two sexes." And they called the cops, and he was arrested and taken off the school property for trespassing. Silliness. That person with the humongous fake boobs, we've talked about him here before, or her here before, back at it with the teachers. No one's saying a word. Another story. In men's washrooms in the University of Toronto, University of Western Ontario and London, and other universities, and probably schools around the country, they are installing tampon distributors in the washrooms. Hundreds of thousands of dollars overall for men who want to use a tampon. Really? What silliness, and yet we're spending money on it. We have other really important issues in society. Poor people, uneducated people, the Indigenous problems that we have in Canada, not problems with them, but the government failing them. We have so many issues, and people are spending money and effort and time on such silliness. We have a Prime Minister. You've heard it here before. He gave a contract for $240 million to a former Liberal MP, a friend of his in Quebec. Virtually nothing was used in the COVID. They said, well, it's COVID spending. Nothing was used. And then that MP, former MP, sold the company to an American company for over $1 billion. Not a peep. And yet, when we have the earthquakes in Syria, Turkey, thousands of people killed, and so many other people in real need, and we have teams, plane loads of help from all over the world. Canada, our Prime Minister said, "We stand with you." That's what he always says. We stand with you. A lot of good that does people who are surrounded by concrete rubble. And then he said, "We are going to provide $10 million. Not less than the $240 he gave to his friend. But really, $10 million? Why can't we provide real help? Plane loads of Canadians going over there and helping these people. Why? Because we can't. We don't have them. Our armed forces aren't strong enough. Canada is becoming a very, very weak sister. We are already out of the five sisters, the spy intelligence network that we've been in since World War II, United States, Britain, New Zealand, Australia. We are not there anymore. Well, we haven't been formally kicked out, but when people are meeting to talk about what's going on in the world, Canada's not there. Why? Because one, we have a leader with loose lips, and secondly, we just don't have any firepower anymore. I can go on for lots of examples of what is going wrong, not only with our society, but with our standing in the world. And people, I know, I talk to people on the street all the time. You say, they are really, really upset about it, but they're not doing anything. So the purpose of this is to say, find out what's going on and contact your MP, your MPP, your councillor, your mayor, and make your voices known. Because Canadians are being treated like mushrooms, being kept in the dark, they're piling it on top, and we are just losing our society, we are losing our standing in the world, and we deserve a lot better. Yes, we're resilient, and we will come back, but we've got to make our voices known. And it's not going to be on the CBC or any of those other networks paid for by the Justin Trudeau government. The Trudeau subsidized media cannot engage you in the discussions. They can't even present the discussions that we do here in this channel, which are critical to the health and future of Canada. So, to help us keep broadcasting, please contribute financially. The address is below. You can write a check, PayPal, and please subscribe.